Tim Pancakes.
Hello everybody, Tim Pancakes here, and today I am doing an apartment renovation. We are in 910 Medina Studios, and this is a studio apartment. I've only lived here once, and I lived there with Mac Warren, who was one of Tim's Sims back during Pride Month in June. This was the first apartment that I renovated and tried to live in, and yeah, it was bad. I had a terrible floor plan, and it was just decorated awful. I mean, it was embarrassing and terrible. It wasn't even one of those things where it was so bad it was good. It was just not good at all. So anyway, Mac recently moved out, and I have a new sim who just graduated from university and is moving to the city. So I decided to design a studio apartment for her, and that is what I'm working on today. So I just decided to do, as I was building it, I didn't really have a game plan. I just kind of, I guess, winged it. I was going to say wung it, but I don't think that that's actually a word. So I winged it, and I started with that bump out there and then turned it into a closet slash bathroom. This isn't a limited pack build. It is set in San Myshuno, of course, but I kind of used all packs. So you'll see a variety of things from all over the place. I decided that this little nook would be great for the kitchen, and so I put some industrial counters in there, and the whole apartment is really kind of an industrial vibe. It's not like, I wouldn't call it an industrial apartment by any means, but with the brick walls and the cement floor and, you know, those cabinets, I felt like, okay, this is an industrial-like apartment, which I really like. Industrial is definitely one of the vibes that I'm into. Pardon that ticking. It's just a thing that we're gonna have to overcome. But anyway, so I was playing with the cabinets, and I ended up just doing one wall of them because I felt like cabinets on both of them was a little much. And here I'm playing because one thing I don't really care for is if you use the side counter, the cabinets still overlap and they don't line up. So I tried to fudge it a little bit to make it work. Now I'm pausing here. I must have walked away or something, but I'm back. So yeah, I built this a few weeks ago actually, and it's just been kind of sitting in my queue to be edited. For the last couple of videos I was focusing on spooky stuff, so it didn't get to this one, and it was just kind of in my back pocket as something to edit real quick when I needed a video. So it's not super fresh, but it's fun to watch it back and kind of talk it through. Here I put a side table. I know that Sims can't prepare food or anything on that, but I felt like if I moved a lot of clutter to that table, then it would open up the counter space for them to use. I do wish we had more clutter in the game. I don't use the buy debug menu at all, so if it's in the game catalog I use it, but I just wish we had more. And a lot of the clutter we have doesn't even, attach to the shelves. So what I end up putting on the shelves, I think, are things that I size down and use the 9 key to shift up and everything. And so yeah, I just kind of threw a few things in there randomly and made it work. I will tell you a little bit about the sim that lives here. So her name is Cami Montalvo. She, like I mentioned, just graduated from university. She wants to be a big theater actress, and so she just moved to the city and lives in a studio. And when all is said and done, you can move a starter sim into this studio, because I want to say with all the furnishing it was under 20,000 still. I might be wrong about that. Like I said, it was a few weeks ago. I want to say it was like 18 or 19, but I just don't know. And if you need to, you can go in and like get rid of a computer or something like that. Actually, I don't think I have a computer in here. Never mind. But anyway, so Cami moved into the studio, and while the base of the apartment is pretty industrial with those bricks and the tall walls and everything like that, I felt that. Excuse me, I got distracted. I'm so sorry. I just kind of put a layer of her personality over the top of it. So lots of bright color, lots of fun things. To really, I guess, contrast with the kind of coldness of the industrial elements. I don't know, I'm just kind of rambling at this point. So thank you for bearing with me. So yeah, like I said, I just kind of raised a few things and to utilize the shelves. And as I was building, there's a lot of items that, like, I have my go-to items and my go-to swatches of the item. I kept having to catch myself and say, okay, but would Cami want this or would she want something else? And so there were a few instances where I'd have to go in and I went with the funkier item instead of what was safe and neutral. Because my aesthetic is beige. Pardon me, I'm yawning. It is 2 a.m. We just did the hour fall back, so it's 2 a.m. for the second time, and I'm a little bit tired. This rug is another one where I love that rug. I like the swatch. I felt like it worked with the brick. But Cami would probably want something much brighter and would want a rug that's a focal point rather than something that fades into the background. So I do end up changing that. And as I'm positioning the items here, I really wanted to make sure this is like a fixer-upper apartment, so things are going to break on you and everything. And I really wanted everything to still be accessible. So I had to shift some stuff around to make sure that you could still get to those pipes and the fuse box and the rabbit hole, the mouse hole. So I start with things in one place and kind of end up shifting them around. And I also change the swatch because right now I'm kind of going with pink for everything, like that chair and that rug and the bookcase. And I do kind of realize that it's okay to introduce other colors. So you'll watch as I shift all of that around. I think one of the reasons this apartment and most of the apartments are so hard to build in but also live in is how tall they are. And that's one of the reasons I went with brick, because I felt like brick is pretty forgiving with those tall walls. There's some texture, so it's not just a plain white wall that goes on for miles and miles, but it's not a super busy wallpaper that it's too much if it's that tall of a wall. So brick was just kind of the easiest way to go, and then I put on that neutral color for the center pop out. And like I said, I went with some different colors here for the furniture. I remember I changed that couch around several times before I landed on something. I don't even remember what I ended up picking. Is it that green one? I don't remember. What's really fun about building for Cami is it definitely allowed me to explore the different swatches for things. Like I said, there are some items that I always go to the same items, but I actually looked at some different swatches besides the one that I normally go for and tried to work some of those in. So like that green couch I don't think I've ever used, or the bed is another one where I really tried. There is one bed that I always use, and it just looks so comfortable, and I love all the swatches, and I felt like it was perfect for this apartment, but I didn't want to use it because I always use it. So I tried. You're going to watch. I go through like every bed in the catalog, and I really try to make it work. And that one, the Get Famous bed, I thought, okay, not too many Sims could pull this off, but Cami could. And so I set it to the side while I looked at some other options. And I tried. I mean, right here I'm trying, but I just didn't think it worked in this apartment. So even though that's a bed that Cami would absolutely have in her home, no questions asked, that is a Cami bed, I didn't like it in this space. So maybe I'll save that for, her next level up home. but I do end up changing it to my go-to bed. And I even tried a different swatch of the bed than I usually use, but I ended up giving in and just going with my go-to swatch as well. So you'll see that shortly. And then I wanted to put up a little room divider there to separate the space, just so you're not walking in and immediately in the bedroom area. There's a little screen there. It's just so much fun to kind of mix and match the furniture for a young adult sim who's moving out on their own and doesn't have a matching set. You know, I have so much fun piecing the different furniture pieces together and trying to find things that work and look interesting. So, I mean, I just love this apartment. I would live in this apartment. I would probably, I can't think of anything I would change except for maybe the fact that everything breaks all the time. I could totally see myself living here. So, yeah, that bed sure stayed for a while, didn't it? But nope, it does change. I promise you that. So yeah, I put a laptop on the desk, and I want to say that I deleted it in order to make the apartment cheaper. I just don't recall. I honestly don't. So yeah, this is the bed. I love that bed. I think it's from Seasons. I don't actually know. I mean, I love it. I use it all the time, but I don't know where it's from. And I don't think I've ever used that blue swatch on it, but so again, I set it to the side because I'm like, well, maybe I'll try a different bed. But no, I go back to it, and then I don't use the blue swatch. I use one of the neutrals that I just love so much. Because Cammie's a bright, colorful, pink girl, and she loves all of those things. And so I definitely defaulted to like the pink swatch of everything, and then I kind of had to scale it back and find things that worked. And so here, like, those three rugs don't go together at all, but I feel like they kind of do too. I don't know. Let me know what you think. If this is just an eyesore of a mismatched hodgepodge, or if you think it works, because I think this is a fun apartment. I always try to make sure that my builds look lived in, but not too busy. I mean, this apartment honestly is probably a little too busy, but I don't want it to be empty. I really want to try to show the personality of who's living here. You know, it's so helpful for me if I have a sim in mind that I'm building for, because it makes it a lot easier to make decisions. This blue lamp is another example of a swatch I've never used before. And I think I threw that in there just to try to break up some of the pink repetitiveness of the apartment. And I think what's really fun about building for kind of this eclectic personality too is you really can just explore the catalog, look for things that you've never really used before, and throw them in, see if it works. And so yeah, there's a lot of combinations here. Like those three pieces, they also don't really go together, but Cammie loves all three of them. And then just I threw on these wall sconces just because those don't really work for the modern industrial vibe either. But you know, I feel like because Cammie is a theatrical actress, you know, anything goes. I think I can pretty much justify every decision I make because, well, she's like a 21-year-old actress. She's a thespian. It's fine. I even threw in a yoga mat. I mean, gosh, I crammed a lot into this pack because we have this apartment. We have the yoga mat. We have a computer. We have the meditation station. I threw an Alexa speaker in there. Or it's not called Lex, I think it's called Lindsay, right? And then in the bathroom, which I'm working on now, I end up putting a washer and dryer. So like there's a lot in this pack. The Seasons decoration bin is over there, which you can't really decorate externally for apartments, but you can still rummage through and find decorations for the season or the holiday. So I put it in there anyway. I also have the thermostat in there. So this is really a hodgepodge of all packs, which makes it fun. It's definitely not a limited pack build, that's for sure. And so this is the bathroom. it's you know, there's a lot in there, but I think because the ceilings are tall, it kind of works. And I have, you know, the one accent wall with the brick, and then the lighter color pink walls. Just I think helps make it feel a little bit bigger than it is. There's not a tub; it's just the shower. But if you really need a tub for some reason, you could get rid of the washer and dryer, and it would be fine. So I'm just kind of wrapping up. I think just making sure there's no loose ends. Oh, I put this laundry basket in there. I'm trying to find a good spot for that, and I really wanted it to work pushed up against that screen and kind of work with the bend in the screen. But when I did the playtest, it didn't work, and so I had to shift some stuff around. So if you download this from the gallery, which it is available under my EAID, which is Toyde05, TOYDE05, you can definitely download this. I posted it a few weeks ago. It's just called 910 Medina Studios or something like that. So, anywho, it is wrapping up here, and we're going to shift into the screenshots. So I will just say thank you so much for watching, and that's a stack.